Hey, welcome back to Jameson's Repair Shop. Well, I've had quite a bit of work done on this old car. I can't even remember what to tell you right now. I did some more work up in here, up in this area, up where it joins the outer member and the inner member join, and the up inside the wheel arch or wheelhouse. Also, you'll see that I've built a new wheelhouse extension, like minus this piece here is not done, and some work in this area. Small stuff, but I'm out of welding gas. So, and it's Sunday, and I just want to go in the house and enjoy the rest of the afternoon with my wife. So, this is what this looked like. You guys have all seen it. So, there's quite a transformation from what was there and what's there now. I'm saving it because this has this piece here. So that's what this video is about, on how I built this piece. And like I said, it's not complete because I'm out of gas, welding gas. It's Sunday. And I'm kind of glad I didn't bother trying to rebuild this piece, because there's not a lot left to it, even though it does have the date stamping on it from Ford. But hey, can't have everything. It's not the end of the world. So what I'm going to do, so I want to finish this piece in the next video. I'll finish it, and I'll finish that area there, and then I'm going to take it back off, and I want to continue rebuilding the inside of the wheel extension, the inner wheel extension, wheelhouse extension. And there's quite a bit of work to do right here as well in the back. There's, if you're familiar with these Thunderbirds, quite a few guys that are watching are, that there's an exhaust hanger right here, and it hooks to this back panel, and it's all tied in to this corner. So this corner needs to be reconstructed. This piece here, anyway, you'll see it when I get into it. But for now, we've got video on building this, and I want to mention about building this. I did these on the bead roller, with a stepper dies. Most of this is done with just hammer and dolly over a rail track and my steel sawhorse I have. I didn't do any English wheeling on this piece. This is all just done by hand. This needs to be folded yet. We'll get to it. So you don't necessarily need everything to do this type of work. I mean, I formed all this. This went over a propane bottle. I just bent over a propane bottle. Oh yeah, and I did use my brake. And I will use the brake again for here. But like I said, most of it is just hand forming. So if you're thinking you need a whole bunch of great equipment to do this work, it helps, but it's not necessary. You'll get it done. Anyway, let's get into the video, and I'll show you how I did it. All right, down here on this, I want to finish up this area before I move to the rear wheelhouse extension. So I got this little piece of metal here. I'll take this off, show you what needs to be done. So all I'm trying to do is fix this little spot right here. And this slot here goes right through to where the two wheelhouse, inner and outer wheelhouse join. So I got a mark there to see how far I have to go over. But what I need to do right now is there's this little step right here, or joggle, I guess it is. It's not much. It comes over from the center over to there. So let me just see if I can have it marked off even halfway close. Yeah, that's pretty close. So what it'll look like, I'll do a joggle there and all the way down and see how it looks. I can always tap out what I don't need. It looks like the joggle went all the way to the bottom. Like that. So that's for this to spot or plug weld to, or it would have been spot welded originally. It'll have to be trimmed there a tiny bit too once I take this piece out. I'll cut this piece out when I'm ready to weld it in. I'll have to put a little curve on there as well. Not much, just a little bit. It's pretty close now. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll continue on. It's not pretty, but I'll give it a little rub with some paper. I mean, this is all going to be covered with seam sealer and undercoating and you name it. So this here piece I'll have to cut back off, because I think when I built this, when I put it in, I tipped it out just a slight bit too far because it doesn't align up here. But the new one, the new piece underneath will align up. So that's what I'm after, is the new piece, not the old piece. All right, I'll continue on. I'll do a little joggle on this and see what she looks like. There she is. I got her roughed in. It's pretty close to being welded in, but behind it, I want to get this back out. So I want to put in the hole and everything for right here for the alignment, and I'll show you what I mean. I'll shove it back in. So now that I have it looking the way it should, I'm going to trim it off back here, and I want to put this hole in. So, I mean, I know it's not necessary, but hey, I'm right here, so why not do it? But I think I'm going to have to, because it has to seat back a little more yet before I put that in. So I kind of have to trace this out, cut that piece out, dress up these areas right here. And this doesn't seem like a big job. A fella could just come in here and slap on a piece of tin, just cover the whole thing and paste it over, and that would have been fine. But I'm here, and I may as well try to do it the best I can. And I'll just take some a roll lock or something to clean that up, make it look neater once I'm done, 'cause I have to grind all this anyway. So that's pretty much the form it needs to be in. Now it's just getting it fitted in. So I'm going to get a scribe, and I'm going to scribe it off, and I'll roughly cut the hole out. So I did that step on, I'll show you, I did the step on these joggle dies that I got from KMS Tools, these Magnum dies. They worked pretty good. Use the automated bead roller, which I don't need on right now. I can shut it back off. So, I'm continuing on. There we go, I got the piece made. I put some plug weld holes in, probably overkilled it, but it is an important intersection on all this stuff coming together. And there's a hole, and you'll see I did some priming. I just sprayed some etch primer on that, because this will be underneath. A lot of this will be trimmed away, but this part there will be underneath. It'll be underneath here, so they both needed to be primed up front before I weld it in. So now I'm going to go ahead. Oh yeah, and I cut the, just to show, I did the hole, and that reminds me I need to prime that side too, because it's going to be underneath this one right here. So I have behind that, so I'm going to have to prime that before I weld it in. So I won't be able to get at it after I'm done. There we go. All ready for working on the inside, and then after I get the inside and I'm confident that I have what I want, I'll plug weld that. I put this little bump in there because I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be there or not, but I put it in anyway. What the heck? Did a little bit of grinding. I didn't go crazy with it. Again, this is all going to be covered with undercoat, primer, undercoat, and all that kind of jazz. So now, before I cut anything off here, I want to make sure that that L bracket in the back is how much it needs to cover. So I'm going to go look at my diagrams and stuff, and George's pictures again, and see what I can see there. And if I'm satisfied with all this, I'll start burning in everything. And I believe, if I remember correctly, there's a hole in here, I think, for sure, and maybe one up in here. But I think this one up in here was only an alignment hole, and if it is, that's all. I'm not putting it in. But this one down here, I think, I'll get this out of the way. I think this hole down here was for drainage. But I'll look it over. But she's coming. So, all right, I'll continue on. All right, there we go. I got the, you probably can't see it very well because I don't have much light on it, but I have this. This needs to be spot welded in, or plug weld rather. There's a layer behind it that joins the outer and the inner together. This is an L bracket that goes in here. It needs to be welded on this. This needs to be welded still. But I did all this out here. Let me just go around. I've got all this welded in underneath the seam. So that's all put back in place. And I've got this welded in. They need to be ground, but they're all tacked or spot welded in. plug welded in place, rather. The wire hanging, looks like a back of a porcupine in here. Yeah, so I got all this plug welded in, and I believe there has to be a cut, something like this, but I'll check it out. I think it comes down, maybe it comes down to this corner to that corner, or this corner to that. I'll check before I cut it. But yeah, so that'll, when I get that all done, those few things like that, the last bit of plug welding and some grinding, and put a little primer on it, I'll be done with the front part. And I'll be done with this torque box and outer and inner members. And then you can move on to the rear extensions. Now I'm going to try to build the rear extensions all one piece. I was going to try to fix this one, but this looks like a pretty basic job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a piece of steel. I got some lined up here. I don't think it's quite long enough. I don't want to dig out my brand new sheet. But if I have to add on a little bit, I'll add a little bit on. That's a pretty simple thing to do, to add a little bit of length on. So yeah. And then I have this to fix here. I have a piece made for that already. I just didn't get it burnt in. Alright, continuing on. Alright, let's get on to the Wheelhouse Extension over here. So what I have, I'm going to make just a little paper template of it, just not a template, but more of a diagram, just by creasing in all the little bits and pieces of it. It doesn't look like a super complicated piece. It has this step here, and then that step on this original one, it fades away, and this moves in that way. And then of course we have a break there, and then a break and a roll, and it has to, of course, the flange, and it all has to match this. And then come down for the remainder of the fender, quarter panel rather. And it goes along here, and then it fades out again right here. Starts fading out the flange, that step area. And then it rolls here. It rolls this way around, attached to the valance, and I think that valance is out a little bit. And then it has it just has this formed piece here. And then underneath, what we have 3 of these beads. They're quite heavy, so I'll probably do them in steps, not bead. I don't have a bead roller like that, and they're actually stepped areas. They don't really look like what a bead would look like. A bead would be rounded, and these are just flat. So I'm just going to use step down on each side, make those, and then we have to leave enough to roll it under for a flange for the quarter panel to fit on all the way along, and it has to have a flange to mate with the valance. Alright, so let me get the paper on and I'll start tracing it out. Plus I also have this. I'm not taking this off yet, but once I make this piece, I will be taking this off because I want to go in deeper and I want to fix up the next part of the section. But I want this made first so I have it ready to go back on. Plus it can provide some information with making the other one, but the other one, really, the damage is, hit that piece of steel behind me. The damage to the other one, to the inner part, is more away from this outer, or this wheelhouse extension. So there's a whole bunch of work to be done in this area, but hey, we have to start somewhere, so let's get this built. So I got a piece of steel dug out, and we'll cut a chunk off as long as we can get out of it. We may have to add on, who knows, may have to cut a little off. Let's see what happens. Alright, no templates. I wasted 5 minutes fiddling with a piece of paper that tells me nothing. So I'm moving on, I'm just measuring it off. I need a piece that needs to be like 42 inches. I don't have a piece that long, so what I'm going to do, I'll make a piece, probably make it to here, which is 30, say make it 32 inches, because I think that's my piece length. So I can make this section here, and then I'll make this piece separate. So that'll be a little easier to work with anyway. This is mostly flat except for this roll right here. So that's what I'm going to do. No templates with that paper. It's just too awkward, too much to fiddle with. I have all the information I need right there anyway. All right, let's get on with her. All right, I'm just laying out the steps in this for the beads. I got most of them etched in there now or scribed in. I'm just doing it right straight through. Then I got to figure out, use my, I think I've got the, actually I've got the joggle ones on there now, so I could probably joggle those in. So let's go at it, see what happens. So there, they're all marked up. And just wanted to explain out, there are 3 of them, as you can see on there, and then this drops down 3/4 of an inch. There's a flange that's 3/4, and then there's another 1/2 inch of material used as for a roll. So you roll over, and then I can flange it. I'll probably be able to do that on the brake, but we'll see. See what I use, the bead roller or the brake. Both will work, I think. All right, let's continue on. I got a couple of, well, I got the 3 beads in. She's an ugly piece of metal now, but a little makeup make her not look so ugly anymore. So part of the makeup is putting this roll on. So I have to roll it that way, and I'm gonna try that on the bead roller. I'm gonna measure it up, see where it goes, and then I'll mark a new line now that I have these in place. And then I'll probably break it. I could try the tipping die, but let's try the roll first and see where it goes. So let's try to pretty this up a bit. Yeah, I only went to the where it does that break. So there now. I'm thinking that's going to be pretty close. Let's have a look. See, they're lined up with the old ones. I know it's not going to be identical to the old one, but it's pretty close. And then I'll, like I say, this is the pivot point right here to build this piece. So I'll work that. And then the back side, I'm going to have to kind of wrap it around and do stuff there, but I'll get her done. This will probably need to be pounded back out again because this is where it tapers off right about here into 0. So this will have to be flattened back out again as I roll that right there, just to bring it around underneath. So now I don't know the exact pitch from here to there, so I'm going to have to leave that for now. So I should put some clecos in that so I can always return it to the same place and then start working on this end or that end. I like the thought of working on this end better because then this would be, I have something to go on here. Well, I have something to go on over there as well, but I definitely have stuff to go on over here. So that'll take a piece of steel to go up this high and down to where this rolls. So I should put the fender skirt back in because that'll give me an idea where the start and stop of that roll is, that tip for the bottom. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll see how she goes. There now, I estimated based on the fender skirt where it came. I haven't bent it yet. I haven't tipped this flange because I'm just going to wait until I get a bunch more built, figure it all out. But this is kind of what I'm looking at here. Took it off because I didn't need this tail on there. So yeah, that's not bad. I've been at this for about an hour now, all together, actual working time. So yeah, I think it's turned out okay so far. We'll see what the end result looks like. But you know, if we can get this built, and then I can go in deeper and start working on the other stuff, hey, that's a great thing because that's every bit is moving ahead. All right, so I'll continue on with it, and I'm not sure where I'm going to go next. Like I said, this needs to be tipped. So I need to cut this piece out, a little bit of this out, and then this needs to be tipped in some. Not much, just to match that. So I'm probably going to do that right now. Just snip this piece out. It has to go along this line, so I'll probably cut it along there, pound this back out. All right, I'll get back to you. I got a plan. There. I just chopped that out a little bit because this has to start going uphill, up on that angle there, and this is now the right angle for that. I have a chicken lip on there, but just trying to get the angles right for now. Well, I've been pounding away at this for a little bit. This part right here, I just clecoed these together so I keep them in one spot. And then I know I have to run this line along here. I just marked the back side of this so I can get rid of maybe some more of this material. But this is what I'm forming in, this piece here to go over to match up with this body line. So there still needs to come in yet. And there has to be a flange put on that, so I'm going to have to weld a piece in because I have it too short. I actually went and cut some of that off, which was dumb, but hey, when you're forming stuff, you never know what happens. Again, it's a good thing it's not a woodworking project and it's a steel one. So anyway, this is what I'm doing. So I think I have this well enough here. It just needs to be fine-tuned to get it down in along here. And then once I get it all where I'm comfortable with how it looks, and I'm going to try to put a flange on it. I will flange the bottom as well, and I'll weld it together. That's what I'm thinking about. I'll weld it together. I'll just cut it right straight through and then weld it all together. And then there'll need to be a flange, well, a tip, a roll put on like this, and then flanged. But as far as I can see on the original one, it was only rolled over a little bit, and then it went into just a flange. Very similar to the back, where the back only had a roll for part of it, and then it flattened out, and then they allowed for the wraparound. Just coming. Needs a little bit better right here, but I have lots of metal to work with there. Once I get some more of this done, this will all be twisted and turned and beat up and pounded a few more times yet. But yeah, so like, you know, I've been out here for a half hour just doing this. I made this yesterday. So yeah, building my own. Well, there she is. I haven't welded it yet. I'm just getting ready to weld the two pieces together. There's some finish work, obviously. Still have to fix that upper piece there. Here's the old one that came out of it. She's pretty rough. I'm kind of glad now that I decided to build a new one and not try to fix this. That's yeah, that's pretty much gone. But I still need this pattern here to do the back end of this, which I'll use this as a template. So yeah, so I want to cut and butt that piece, and then I want to put that flange in on the bottom. I'm planning on breaking that on the brake. I'm just deciding whether I should put the shape in it first. But if I have the flange in it, I can use the shrinker stretcher to probably get it around easier. We'll see. I'm going to think about it. Well, there she is. I got her tacked in. I cut and butt it. So now that's one piece. Pretty much out of welding gas. So that's going to be it for welding today. It's Sunday and I can't get any more gas today. So pretty much at the bottom of the barrel here. All right, so what I'm going to do, because this video is probably already close to 30 minutes long, I'm going to call this video good, and I'll still have that piece to do there. So I'll get some content up for you guys. you'll probably, by the time you hear me say this, you've already watched this video. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to call her right now. I'm going to do some cleanup around here, and they'll enjoy my Sunday off. All right, guys and girls, thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate all the great comments I get, and I appreciate George for sending me these pictures. Really, I know I can't say it enough. And Troy, you've been sending me some good stuff too. You did a great job on that metal piece for your floor pan. Looks really good, Troy. And John, well, John, you're always welcome. And oh, I was supposed to do a puppet show for John. That's not a puppet show. I don't know how to do puppet shows, John, sorry. But I owe John a puppet show from when I did the hole in the wheel arch. Anyway, guys, girls, thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.